Good morning. Hey, we're back here for another live stream. So, yeah, eventually we'll get around to doing regular live streams, but I'm not too stressed out about it at the moment. I have a new laptop that I just picked up from work yesterday. So, I will actually be able to live stream on that better than with my phone, I think. So, that is the plan. So, yeah, what's going on this morning? So, I got up really super early for me. I usually sleep until I'm done sleeping. So, lots of coffee. So, I didn't get to sleep until I was done sleeping today. The dog decided I needed to get up well before my normal time. It wasn't even light outside yet. So, in any case, I couldn't go back to sleep because, I'm 50, and once you're awake, whether it's the middle of the night, too early in the morning, whatever, you're awake. So, yeah, I got all my work done, and now I have stuff I have to do later on today, and I have a lot of stuff I have to do later on today, but I decided, hey, I'll come up here, film another one of these live stream things, and I'll be able to get that running on my computer when I have to leave the house, so I can start the download and upload process and all of that stuff, which takes forever, and I think I can figure out a better way to do that moving forward. So what am I doing right now? Episode 9 of the Quilty Life, which is the other show. Episode 9 it's scheduled to come up today at 4 o'clock Eastern time, so my time. So 4 o'clock, that's coming up. So I got that all edited and finished and stuff last night. So if you don't know, you can technically just push your video out into the world on YouTube whenever you want to, which is what I'll do with this live stream. But if you really want views, apparently you have to hold on to it. They say 24 to 48 hours. I'm way too impatient. Usually I hit it at about, I don't know, it's like 20 hours. Sometimes I actually do the 24 to 48, but I just want to get it out there. I'm done with it. I want to push it out there. So I finished it last night, and then I set it to pop up at 4 o'clock today. So that's what's going on with that. But in the meantime, I'm over here working on how I'm going to film episode 10. I can't believe I've already gotten to 10. So I've got this pile of things that I have made while I was making all the, here's like the stripes that I made, all of those and the stripy stuff. So that's pretty cool. I got a bunch, all those things that I made for all those other episodes, half square triangles, all that good stuff. And some of them I never actually pressed all the way open. So I need to go in here and really make sure that I clean all of these up and get them ready. But I don't want to think too hard about how I'm going to actually put all of these together into a composition, because I want the video to be, as close to real life as possible. So that's what I've been doing at all of these. I sort of plan them, like in the episode that's coming up today, I had to print this thing out. And then, of course, there's an episode where I had goals and I had things listed. So in some cases, I plan a little more than others. So I usually get the idea. I mean, I always go in there knowing what I'm going to talk about. And then I, kind of in my brain think, okay, what am I actually going to do? I'm going to show 5 different ways to do this. Am I going to start from this and work up to that? Or, just a basic idea. And then I just sort of roll with it. So I am doing improv videos for improv piecing, I guess. It just works better for me. If I script things, it sounds like I'm reading, and I don't like that. So if you've seen I've done other videos where I've scripted it. Usually I never read from a teleprompter, because that would just be weird and I would hate it for sure. So, but a lot of times in the ones where I have very specific things I need to say, I will have, sort of an outline on a piece of paper, and I'll try to hit those points. But a lot of times I've over practiced it while I'm out walking the dog or whatever, and it feels over practiced. So I would prefer if all my videos were like this. So if, it sounds like I'm just hanging out with you and talking to you. So that's how I strive to do all of those tutorial videos. So I think I've done a pretty good job with that by not over planning. So now I've rambled. But that's the thing that I have to do whenever I'm doing the other videos is I do have to edit a lot because I tend to ramble. Imagine. Can you imagine? Yeah, so I have to go in and chop stuff out a lot. So, you know, it it's it's fine. So I like the editing process. I know some people, I found out recently that people pay other people to edit their videos for them. And it never even occurred to me that you could do that. I don't know why it didn't. I mean, I assume like big creators, they have teams who do stuff. I assumed that. But I didn't assume that small people, like small channels, were doing this sort of thing. So I thought that was fascinating. So, but I actually like the editing process. So I don't think I would ever pay someone to do that for me. Well, maybe if I become a giant YouTube star and, you know, have a whole team of people, then maybe I'll let other people work on it. But, but yeah, so I like the editing process. The parts that I don't like is all dealing with the files and crap. Like you have to like get all your files off of your phone and then move them into another place and get them on your computer. And then you have to do all the tinkering and then you have to put it in another place. And then yeah, all of that, I would definitely pay someone to do that part of it. I don't enjoy all the file maneuvering. So like I said, I can probably come up with a better way to do it. I probably need to just do, if I got a dedicated camera that had like an SD card in it, I think I could do that instead of using my phone to do everything. But, you know, my phone does a good job. It's a pretty fancy phone. So it does exactly what I need it to do at this point. So I won't be investing in an expensive camera anytime soon, I'm sure. So yeah, so that's what's going on today. So I've got this lovely pile of things that have to become episode 10. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep it on because normally I am. So up here is where I usually films down and I film right here in this space. But I'm not sure. I don't think I have enough room there to actually show my composition stuff. So I'm trying to decide if maybe I should just move my camera arm up so I have more room on in frame, or if I should actually just switch it up for this episode and show me building something on a design wall. But I really don't have enough room for that. If you saw the first Unlive, you know my situation with design walls is kind of a mess. So I don't know how I would film that. So yeah, it's kind of a conundrum. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do episode 10 here, and then maybe over in the other room, which is where I have filmed some of the headshot things that you've seen maybe, or I filmed the Unplugged series, my headshot stuff, talking head stuff in there. So I have a sort of studio set up in there. And maybe I could somehow configure a design wall in there because there is a space I could do it. So maybe that's going to happen. Or maybe I'll move the big freestanding wall, which I'm pointing at it, but you can't see it. So the big freestanding wall, and put that in there, and that would give me room to film it. So I don't know. I have to figure this out. So I have to figure it out fast because episode 9 is dropping, and my cadence has been, I have promised to myself I am going to drop a new video for the Quilty Life every 3 to 4 days. And so far I've been sticking with that. So I really need to get on the ball because there's something dropping today, and it takes me at least a day of filming and then a day for editing, and then you have to wait the 24 to 48 hours. So I have to get on the ball soon, or I am going to miss my deadline on this one, right? So then the other thing I got to think about is what I'm going to do once I'm done with this, because that's been my goal, was to get through episode 10, get through the 9 episodes where I do individual things, and then episode 10 where I put this stuff together. And then I haven't planned beyond that. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do next. So I've been looking at what got a lot of views. And by far, the one that got the most views was the one where I did stack work, where I piled up fabric and chopped it up and then sewed it all back together. So shockingly, I almost didn't do that one because I'm like, doesn't everyone know how to do this? Apparently, people do not know how to do this. It's like one of the first things I learned how to do improv. So I don't know. I really made the assumption that other people knew how to do it. It was when I did these little blocks, in case you're trying to remember which one I'm talking about. So I use this technique a lot. So I'm thinking maybe for the next ones, I'm going to do something called improv everything or how to improv everything or something like that. Because I like to look at a block, for example, like a classic block of some sort, and then figure out how I'm going to improv it. So do it in some weird improv-y way. So liberated. So I did this. I started working on a Dear Jane quilt, a liberated Dear Jane quilt. And that was really fun, but it was really overwhelming. And I had it hanging on my design wall for forever. And then I quit working on it. And it just kind of stagnated my entire process because I felt like I needed to keep working on it, but then I would walk into my room and I didn't want to work on it. So then I just didn't sew for a bit. So am I the only one who does that? You just get like overwhelmed with one project and then you keep thinking you should do it and you don't, and then you don't do anything. I don't know. It's a weird conundrum, but I just kind of put it all away. I wrote notes to myself and made sure I wasn't going to keep it in order, but maybe I'd go back and revisit the Dear Jane stuff because that was actually really interesting. And I got tons of views and likes and stuff about that on Instagram. And that was before I had hardly any followers even at that point. So maybe people would be interested in that or something like it, because I think I'll have to be careful about, I can't really show the Dear Jane book. And I think I have to be careful about using Dear Jane. The lady who wrote the Dear Jane book she's very protective of the name Dear Jane, which I get that. And so you're not just allowed to use it willy-nilly. You need to be careful with it. So I need to look into how I would talk about it if I did that. But maybe I pick a block and then I say, here's how I would improv it instead of having it be, from some very specific place. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. The other thing I thought about doing was doing a series of like all my favorite tools or something, but I don't know. That's been done a million times. I don't know if people are actually interested in that. I'm interested in doing things that people aren't doing. So there are people who show improv stuff on YouTube, and I watch them. Because I like learning new things and how other people do things, because these aren't set rules or anything. And so a lot of times somebody will do something like, oh, I never thought to do it that way. That's really smart. And then I might change something I do and start doing it that way. But there's not a lot of people showing improv. Sometimes they'll show final results or something like that, but there's not really a lot of people showing like what I've been doing and talking it out. Like, why did I decide to do it that way? Why, just the thought process that goes behind it, which is, I think, the most fun part about improv, because you're really just making lots of decisions all the way along the way, which is kind of cool. I'm still thirsty. So, in any case, here we are coming up on episode 10, and I am at a crossroads. So if any of you out there have ideas about what you think I should do next, if any of those ideas I already talked about sound particularly interesting to you, or if you've been watching or you've been watching other people and you think, gosh, I wish somebody would do XYZ, I would love to hear it, because I'm looking for some new ideas, the next direction to go in, and I need some content to get this show on the road. All right, well, we're coming up on 15 minutes now, so I am going to finish up with this and then go back downstairs and do real job stuff for a while, and then go run all the outside of the house tasks that I have to do today. And I will see you around next time. Make sure you go watch episode 9 tonight at 4 o'clock Eastern time.